My name is Joshua. We will be talking about basic drill and the marching. This is just an introduction because there are quite a lot to learn, quite a lot to talk about. Like we discussed on our drill, we're gonna be taking some theoretical overview of this so that when we start the practice, you are already conversant with it. You already know what to do and when to execute. So what we are going to do in the practice will be more of a demonstration of what we have talked about so far. So we are starting this series with the introductory aspect of basic drill and marching. And in this very series, on this very slide, we're going to talk about introduction, definition of terms, and explanation of these terms, and then conclude for today. Now let's go to introduction to drill. What is drill and what is it all about? So that drill is a powerful edge to discipline. The aim of drill is to develop in the individual that sense of instinctive obedience, which will assist him or her at all times to carry out his duty. It develops a sense of corporate pride, alertness, precision, and readiness to obey orders instantly. So this is what drill always do for us, which means with somebody who knows how to participate or who performs very well in drill and marching, that person knows how to do his or her job, carry out his or her task in precision. The person is always alert. So many of us we stand and sit like those who are having some waist problems or arthritis of the joints. But when you are properly trained in drill and marching, you will be very much alert and you always be ready to carry out orders and to obey orders. One thing with drilling helps us to do is that it makes us to be obedient to orders. We are in era now where so many persons lack respect. So many persons lack obedience. People want to know the reason for something before they must do anything. Even when they know that what they are supposed to do is right, but they will just want someone to push, or they will just want someone that they can react negatively to before something can be carried out. Okay, so the drill helps us to obey without somebody being pushed. Right. Good drill on public duty is directly fostered by the habit of drilling smartly on parade. I don't think I have much to about that. Officers and personnel are better prepared for any work they have to do and produce that immediate reaction, which may be a vital factor in saving of lives, of life. Okay, that is just what drill does. You see, drill is very important, not just as maybe as a group of people trying to do marching or a parade, as people call it, but it also helps each person in his or her personal lifestyle. It also helps the person to be very much alert and ready to carry out tasks. When you will see when talking about proactiveness in the office, in workplace, in business, drill helps somebody to be ready like that and carry out tasks. There are so many people that when they are going for an errand, they spend hours walking on the road. When you are properly drilled, you will see that your movement, even on the street, will be very well coordinated. And people will see you as someone who is coordinated and focused. Okay, so smartness on parade is not only a sign of good discipline, but a basic factor in raising the standard of performance of all brigade duties. Now, you will be seeing the word brigade here, and there. What brigade is all about has to do with a group of people that are well trained in drilling and marching or parade. Okay, that is what the brigade means. So in the military, you always hear about the brigade as a department or a division in the military. What do they do? What they do is that they are just group of people that participate in things like have to do with drill and marching, security activities within the presidential villa or some of the top offices in the military barracks. All right, so let's go down to the introduction now, properly. We said the immediate reaction to orders shown by highly disciplined personnel derives directly from the performance of carefully conceived close order exercises. Okay, you notice that when there is no proper or well directed or informed parade or drill management, you will see that there will be a distorted or an improper execution of orders. Okay, so a good drill brings about discipline, and you will see that it derives an applause. Okay, it is a property that will enable individuals and divisions to keep cohesion and efficiency under unusual strain. Okay, so let me not go further to talk. Going next down, go to the definition of terms. We have so many terms to define, but for the time being, you're going to take a few of these. You have what is called alignment. What does alignment mean? Okay, some of these are basic terms that oftentimes when we come for a physical rehearsal or practices, you will just be hearing them. So knowing what they are all about is a very ideal way of learning, because somebody cannot just tell you something and maybe you've not heard about it or you don't know what it is, or even the person is now bringing a different ideology that is not written anywhere. So you have the basic knowledge from a referred manual. Okay, so alignment simply means any straight line on which a body of personnel is formed or is to form. Okay, when you hear align, just that means to form a straight line, a line that is straight. So it's just like people that does mechanic, when they go for wheel alignment, it simply means that the wheel is not straight. So person, you need to give it to somebody that was trying to be. So for you to form up in a line, the line need to be aligned. That means need to be straight. Okay, we have what is called flank. And then we have what is called file. Now, blank file, what does it mean? Blank file simply means an incomplete file in 2 or 3 ranks, a front rank person only. Okay, in 3 ranks with 2 fronts and the rear rank. Okay, like now we are forming a line of 3 in 3s, as people normally call it. Okay, these lines we call it ranks. Okay. Line 1, line 2, line 3, we call them ranks. We call them the first rank, the center rank, and the rear rank, or call it the front rank, center rank, and rear rank. Okay, now in a situation where you're having 3 rank squad, and then you are having some people that are 2, maybe in the front rank you have 2, and the other side you have 3, something like that. So you have what you call blank. It's just like an exam where you have filling the blank spaces. So those areas that somebody's supposed to be there but it's not there, it's called a blank file. Okay, now brigade has to be a brigade column. What does brigade column means? Like I said, what the word brigade simply means a group of parade people that are on the major parade. Okay, brigade column has to do with the ceremonial flag. Coming down to Adventist Ministry, we have what we call the ceremonial flags. Those are the flags that we put on that pole that people carries. Okay. During this series, you also know who should carry those flags. Who should carry those flags? We will know about them when we get there. Okay, so these ceremonial flags, they have description. You know, oftentimes, even some of the wedding and the 10 years anniversary we attended, we saw even the outdoor flag, the posting flag that was tied upside down, you know, all those things, they are not proper. That is just the truth. All these flags, they have dimensions. The ceremonial flag size is 91 cm by 122 cm, which simply means it is just, if you don't want to measure it in centimeter, you measure it by feet. It is 3 by 4 feet. Okay, which has been consecrated and authorized for use on major parade and ceremonies. Right. So as you are seeing, this BGR 160 is just a reference. That is the manual of the brigade. The brigade I'm talking about is not boys brigade. It is a brigade as a unit in the military that has to do with drilling and the marching. You know, in the military, or let me take for instance, in the Nigerian army, we have the infantry, we have the armor, we have the brigade. All right. We know that the infantry is called the queen of the battle. These are the people that majorly goes for battle and peacekeeping missions. Now the armored are those ones, even when they are going on a tough mission, we have people who are in charge of grenades, artillery and all that. It's not every infantry soldier that shoots artillery and RPG. So we have those ones too. And we also have people that work in the armory. Those are the ones that we call the armors. Then the brigades are those people now, like when you go to the military headquarters, the presidential villa, you see some sort of militaries, and whenever the president comes, they form up, do a salute, and that whenever the president is leaving, we have people that holds the flag, raises the flag in the morning, and lowers it in the evening. We have the bands, the band crew. We have we have the band and the musical. We have the buglers. All these people are formed in the brigade. Okay, so that is just about that. Okay, now brigade flag size. The size, you can see it there, 2.74 meters, and all that. This is authorized to be flown on headquarters of an establishment at annual inspection camps, etc. Okay, so we'll have that one. We'll have the cadet flags and all that. But bringing it down to the Adventist Youth Ministry, we'll have, as we all know, aside the national color, we have the AY color. Okay, aside the national color, we have what we call the religious color. I don't know if any of us who have seen the one we call the religious color. That flag is white, having only the Adventist logo. That is what we call the religious color. Okay, it's a religious flag. We'll have the religious flag. Then we have the Adventist youth flag. Then you now have the club flags like the Master Guides and the SYL, the ambassadors, the young adults, the pathfinders and adventurers. We have all those ones in their dimensions. Okay. Then let us look at a change of position. What does it mean? The movement when the personnel take up a new alignment, change of position. The change of position can be in terms of turns, like right turn, left turn, about turn, and all that. It can also be changing of position, like open order, close order. Okay, that is what we mean by changing of movement, changing of movement. You are taking up a new alignment. All right. Now we have close order. Now in close order, we have it in different ways. You have the close order for 3 rank squad. That is 3 rank squad now, where you have the front rank, the center rank, and the rear rank. Okay, that is 3 rank squad now. Now close order in for 3 rank squad. The formation of a unit or squad in 3 ranks, one behind the other at a distance of a pace of 75 cm, approximately 30 inches. 30 inches is the approximated value of a step forward. So which simply means if somebody is standing in my front, the distance between me and that person is just a step forward or a step backward, as the case may be. So it's just a step from where I am. If I just match a step, I will be in the same line with that person. So I just take a step to make that distance, and the other person also behind does the same thing. That is what we mean by 3 rank squad. Now the ranks are termed the front rank, center rank, and the rear rank. which I've explained. That is the first line, the middle line, and the back line. Each person in the center and the rear rank covering the corresponding person in the front rank. So it must be in that order. Also in alignment. And alignment, remember I said, in a straight line. Now we have close order for two rank squad. The formation of a unit or squad in two ranks, one behind the other at a distance of 2 pace. Okay, sorry. At a distance of 2 pace, approximately 30 inches. Like I said before, I said initially I made a little mistake. I said step forward. 2 pace simply means two step in front or behind the person. So the rank are termed the front rank and the rear rank. And each person in the rear rank covers the corresponding person in the front rank. So you always use the person at your front to take alignment, which simply means the person at the front should not be the one to adjust to get the straight line. Rather, the person behind should use the person at the front to take alignment. Okay. All right. So now colors. We have talked about colors when we talked about that of the brigade colors. So column of routes. A column of 3 with not more than 3 persons abreast in any part of the column, including officer and the supernumeraries. The supernumeraries. Now, what do we mean by this? We are talking about column of routes, like when we have to do with 3 rank squad. Okay, one person in front, the other person at the center, the other person. This is the normal formation for personnel. When we go to the St. John's Ambulance Brigade marching close up, which is one of the major foundation of drill and the marching. So you see that the movement is in that order, according to the column. The column is being maintained. What do we mean by the column now? The space is equal because the close order or open orders maybe has the same measurement. So the columns, you have the column 1, the column 2, column 3 will be in that alignment having an equal column. All right. So column of 3, a succession of personnel standing side by side in threes covering. Now, what is covering itself? That is the acts of one or more personnel of form bodies placed directly in the rear of another. So when you hear cover up, what does cover up mean? Cover up simply means those that are in the rear rank or that are behind the people at the front. You just make sure that you formed up properly in alignment. So take note, when you hear cover up, it's just what it means, so that you align very well, maintaining equal column. Now, what is depth? Depth has to do with the space occupied from front to the rear by a body of personnel. Now, why is this thing important? Let me just pause and digress a bit. If you are a parade commandant, you need to understand all these things, because these are some of the things that you will give to the review officer as the state of the parade. There is what we call giving the state of the parade to the reviewing officer. All right. Now we have what we call directing bodies, the units or individual of which the direction, pace, and alignment or relative position of the several parts of a formation depends on. Okay, directing body. Now, we will get to the area where we have what we call the marker. The marker is related to that of the directing body. You know, everybody taking alignment, taking the pace depends on these people that are called the markers. So they are simply the directing bodies that will direct you on where to stand and proper alignments. Now, directing flank, the flank by which units marches or march and dress. This Distance, the space between personnel or unit measured from front to rear, measured from heel to heel. In the case of units, it is measured from the heel of the front rank of one unit to the heel of the front rank of the next unit. Okay, now this has to do with when we are talking about unit by unit now. Like you have a unit 1, then you have the unit 2. You now know what we call a direct and flat. That's the distance now from unit 1 to unit 2, and then unit 2 to unit 3. It both alignment. You know, we had this issue during the wedding where we were telling the color party, we like call it color sport, to adjust so that they will be in the same line, in the same alignment with the general parade. But there were some little argument on that. But that is a very wrong formation of flank. So directing flank demands that the unit 1 will be in the same alignment with unit 2, both the front rank, the center rank, and the rear rank. Both the parade members and their commandants, they will be in equal alignment, observing equal space and equal distance. Okay, division. Okay, now the first definition of division has to do with the smallest units. The smallest units of a brigade or of a parade. Okay, now what does it mean? It has minimum of 11 ranks and 5. Minimum of 11 rank and 5. That is what a division is. It is the smallest formal parade units. So when you hear division 1, and the people you are calling division 1, when you count the total number of people in that parade, they are up to 21, and you are still calling them division, you are wrong. Or let's say they are just 12. If they are 12, good. If you call them division, you are right. But where they are, let's say 21 or 33, you know, then you are calling them division, and you are having a 3-rank squad, you are wrong. All right. So when we get to the area, I know some people will be asking, so what will it be called? We will get to the area where you will know what to call. We will get to area where we talk about division, company, and the battalion. When we get there, we will get to know what to call them. All right. So dressing. The dressing has to do with the act of taking off an alignment correctly. It may be normal at an arm length between individual, or without interval at shoulder to shoulder. Okay. I remember there was a day I told some people, when you just get there, put your hand on your waist. Why do I say put your hand on your waist? You are just trying, you will use your elbow to brace and take measurement of equal distance. All right. So that is just what dressing is all about. When you hear dress, it has to do with, maybe, let me just use the language, shifting, so that you will align in the same place with having the same equal distance. Now, what is drill? Drill simply means it is a means whereby a body of personnel is controlled and directed efficiently through the executive command of one person towards the attainment of an aim. What does it mean? Executive command of one person. It's not this one that parade commandant will give a command. Band commandant will give another command. Another assistant parade commandant or whoever will give another command. On top of just that one command, it is 100% out of place. It is never done anywhere. Go to anywhere, browse it, go to the military barracks, ask questions. It is never done anywhere. Where you see command coming from 2 persons has to do with when the commandant orders the color party to march in, or the commandant gives order for number D for a quarter guard squad to order the quarter guards to march out. If there must be a second command after the commandant's command, the commandant will be the one to command who will give that command. And that is what drill is all about. So if you are doing any drill and marching and it is not efficiently directed through the executive command of one person towards the attainment of an aim, which is distinctiveness, precision, it simply means you are doing nothing. You are doing nothing. Drill is a training that is necessary to ensure the execution of certain movements until these become second nature to the individual. Man, have you ever wondered the reason why when you see some well-trained soldiers that are in Guards Brigade, when you see them, even when they are walking, it's as if they are marching. It is because they have been drilled to the point that it becomes the second nature of their lifestyle. What is a file? A file simply means any person of the front rank together with the person covering immediately behind. So if I'm standing at the front and somebody is immediately behind me, what we are is just a file. Let's talk about what flag is. If you want to know more about flag, those of you that are invested guys, master guys, you should know about what flag is because it is explorer and the ranger requirement of what the Pathfinder category. Now, what is flank? Flank is either side of a formed body as opposed to its front or rear. Now, we talk about flank. Now, you now have what is called the line 1, line 2, line 3. That is what we mean by flank. Whereas file, you just have the 1, 2, 3 person. This one is in front of this one, this one is in front of that, but behind this person. All right. Then, what is front? The direction which personnel or units are facing or moving at any given time. Okay, that is the reason why you hear forward march. Forward march, you are marching to the front. Okay, I don't think any of us have ever heard backward march. All right. Then, what is frontage? The extent of ground covered laterally by a body of personnel. You can sit and ask somebody, as we are marching now, what will be the frontage? What will be the frontage? What you are asking simply means, what will be the extent of ground coverage? Like the distance where we will march to. Okay, that is what it means by frontage. I'll be very glad so many of us will start using some of these terminologies in our conversations as a regard to drill and marching. It will be very superb. Some people will just be like novice, looking at what are they saying, and communication have already taken place, and those persons are sold out without them knowing. Okay, so guide. What is guide? Guide has to do with a person on the left or right of a line to maintain direction and alignment. So somebody at the center, the person at your left, and the person at your right is your guide. So there is no way you at the center rank will be marching ahead of this person at your right or the person at your left. And there is no way you'll be marching behind these two persons at your left and right because they are your guides. Okay. Now we have what is called guard of honor. Now what is called guard of honors? What are guard of honors or who are guard of honors? A parade unit formed to present formal ceremonial compliments to particular distinguished person, not to exceed 50% for royalty or for entitled persons. Guard of honor does not exceed 50 persons. Not this one that when we want to do guard of honor, we will be having a full grand parade. It's wrong. It's wrong. It does not exceed 50 persons, both the commandant and everybody. In 5. A succession of individuals formed up, covering one behind the other. Interval is the lateral space between persons on the same alignments, measured between adjacent flank. Okay, interval, that is side by side now, in a straight line. Now, line, individual on the same alignment. I've mentioned this one. Line empathy, a body of personnel, normally not more than, we have what we call the senior non-commissioned officers, that is people within the rank of warrant officers, master warrant officers, just for the military anyway. But maybe here we can have it as somebody at the rank of guide, with other people like that. Right, with 12 persons. That is what we call lining party, 12 to 20 rank and file, to line both sides of a short route for a distinguished person. Right? Now this one is not necessarily covered. We'll still talk about it one time. Then marker. I've mentioned marker before. Person placed in position to mark a point where a flank or a squad or unit is to rest. Okay. When we get to a place where we have a command for markers, markers are persons that you put them at a point so that when the other members of the parade marches, they know that when they reach where this person is, they will mark time or they will halt when they reach where this other person is. So we have what a command that is markers, recruiters, up, and they will halt. Maybe when we get to that, we will talk about it and we'll give the command. Then open order. Open order is the formation of a unit or squad in 3 or 2 ranks, one behind the other at a distance of 3 paces of 75 cm, which is approximately 30 inches between ranks. Now, look at the distance. Initially, on a normal parade, the distance from the person in the front, center, and the back is 2 paces. Now, when you hear open order, you will make that space now. You make that distance now from 2 paces to 3 paces, which simply means open order is just a pace forward and a pace backward. Center rank stands still. A pace forward and a pace backward. Center rank stands still. All right, so that is what we will have for today. In our next discussion, we'll be talking about, we'll just finalize that of the definition of terms. Then we'll now start going into details of everything. Feel free to ask your question. Feel free to comment. But I also appeal that whoever that want to ask question or whoever that have any concern or anything to comment should do that reasonably as a mature person. Thank you so much and have a blessed and lovely day.